Hello everyone and welcome to the view from my balcony. As you can see that although I want winter to be over and spring to come as soon as possible, it is still very much winter. So I'll just stay with the season and paint one more snowy landscape. This time we will be working with oil pastels and I will show you what is the best few techniques to draw and paint snow with oil pastels. So without much ado, let's get started. I am working on a Canson Mi tientes yellowish orange colored paper, and the reason I chose this color is because I thought that on top of this bright warm color, the cool colors blue, mauve, and purple and white for snow will look really bright. And the second reason is that wherever this underlying color of the paper will show through, it will give a very bright background, or a tonal value rather, to start off with. As you can see that initially I'm just blocking the entire area with some general colors, and then I am taking my small brush and little bit amounts of odorless mineral spirit. I'm using Mona Lisa brand odorless mineral spirits here, and blending those oil pastels down. The reason I'm doing this at this very early phase of this painting is that once I blend the colors down and judge the values, I get a very good understanding of how much dark and light I need to go in each of the areas. While I am blending, I am making sure that I am going from lighter areas to darker areas and not the other way around. That way are my colors straight true, and they don't get muddy at this very stage. Next, what I'm doing is I'm just adding some whites here and there and adjusting the values of the sky first. Next, you will also see that I added some amount of white in the foreground as well to see how light I really need to go. Then I will start working from the sky backwards to my foreground. First, let's take care of the foliage that is far behind, and I'm adding lots of purples and blues and some amount of yellows to it. Next will come the foreground, where I'm first laying down a lot of blues and mauves, and in between I'm adding some blacks and browns, mostly browns and very little bits of black. Black being a very powerful color, it often makes a very dark, and it kind of neutralizes everything, so you want to be very careful with how much black you are putting anywhere in the painting. You want to layer it on top of the blacks with other warmer colors. Now, as I have laid down my darker colors, I'm coming back with my lighter colors, adding some reds and yellows here and there to give a pop of color to my foliage areas. Next comes to the very important part, is laying the shadow areas. You will see that for the shadow areas on top of the snow, I'm using the blue, and I'm alternating between dark blues and whites, which you will see much better when it comes at a later stage of the painting. At this point, I'm just adding my browns, blacks, and dark blues. And you will see that wherever I'm adding my light blues, on just next to it, I'm adding the browns and blacks, so that I have very high contrast between lights and darks, and that is what makes a painting pop out. Once the blues are laid, I'm coming on top of them with whites. And you will see that in between the whites I have blue lines or mauve lines. So that is what creates the shadow slowly. And this doesn't happen just at one go. You cannot just come from behind and forward and just paint alternate lines of white and blue. It will come with layers. The more layers you add, the more depth your painting gets. So you have to build layers on top of layers. You have to lay your darker blues first and then come back with whites on top of the blues. I'm adding some details and some finishing touches to my background foliage, which is far away in the painting. And then I'm adding some more of highlights with white, which adds more dimension to the snow, and adding some more bright whites also adds the hint of sunlight. Adding some dark blues in between the light blues to give the light blues a pop, and increasing the contrast between the white of the snow and the darkness of the shadows. Those are the final finishing touches to this painting. And with that, we come to the end of the painting. I hope you found this instruction useful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.